Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. It's What the Show. We're going to start things off with a quick word of the passing of the legendary Gilbert Gottfried, a man who, in his comedy as well as his passing, made us all say, "Too soon?"
Hi, it's us. We're back. A quick aside, since everyone just bopped out to the What the Show theme song, which of course was made by our lovely co-host Justin the Juice. Justin the Juice won't be with us this evening, so this is a juiceless. The juice is loose, as they say.
It's a spilled juice episode.
Yeah, so we're here. It's just it's a mimosa. Well, it's just the champers tonight. No juice. But the rest of us are here.
But we might not have a juice tonight, but we do have a special guest tonight. We have a fun little guest. I guess he wasn't intended to be a fill-in, but I guess he's going to sub for juice tonight. You might know him. His podcast partner has been on our show quite a few times. It's about time we finally had him from the Notorious by Chance podcast. Everyone say hey to Russell Howard.
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Wow, it sounded like I almost said Howard when I tried to say Sal. Howell.
They kind of sound like Howard.
Wait, is Russell Howard another person?
I was like, did we rename him? But I just went with it. I was like, okay,
I'm sure I'll be Russell Howard for the sake of the show.
Yeah, there we go.
And for this evening only, Russell Howard.
Russell Howard is the name of an actual, like a person, right? Like not that you're not a person.
It's a basketball player, right?
Basketball player.
I know a baseball player was Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard. What was also?
Close.
Yep, Ryan Howard played for the Phillies. And it was also the name of the character on The Office.
There you
Russell
have it.
Howard is a comedian. He's a British comedian.
Last name Howard?
Well,
Ryan's last name?
There you have it.
They had the actor. They had the athlete on one of the episodes too, and Jim had to clarify to Pam the athlete.
Which one it
Yep.
was. Silly. Before we dive on into
tonight's
nonsense, because let's face it, do we have a topic? No, but I'm really excited because AJ's gonna be talking Cop Rock tonight, which I've heard about, but I've never watched. I'm excited for AJ to break it down. Sorry, spoiler alert. We also have a couple other things. We watched a movie last night. We're gonna discuss that a little bit. Other random things might come up, but before we actually dive into insanity, let's talk about the charity as per usual. Every month on What the Show, all of our Streamlab donations do go to charity. It is the month of April. It's like my birthday this week, and I don't know what month it is. It's the month of April, and our charity this week is Women of Ukraine. And so, yeah, obviously there's a lot of terrible things going on in the world, but last month was Women's, International Women's Month. And we're doing a month late because Juice had a little bit of a personal thing come up last month. And so we donated to that.
Shifted it.
We shifted it to that. So we still wanted to help out the lovely women in Ukraine, though, this month. So if anyone wants to jump into any nonsense tonight and donate some money, your money is going to a good cause. Okay, thanks.
Okay,
so
that. I need to get this out. Cop Rock. Russell, have
Please
you heard of
dive
Cop
into
Rock?
Cop Rock.
Cop Rock? No.
Cop Rock. So it's a 1990s TV show. It's from the guy who came out with Hill Street Blues, NYPD Blue. He was the godfather of cop procedural dramas, right?
Okay.
So 1990 comes along and he's the showrunner for Cop Rock, which is a cop musical procedural drama. So you think it'd be lighthearted and fun and all that stuff? No, this show is fucking intense. Okay,
in the circus.
The opening scene of the show is a harrowing no-knock raid on like a stereotypical 90s like crack house, right?
Oh god.
And there's a baby in the house. It's over less than a gram of cocaine. And then like after they do this intense no-knock raid, rescue a baby from the house, arrest these guys, the guys that they arrest, they're in handcuffs, and they start doing like this cheesy early 90s, late 80s rap, like my name's AJ and I'm here to say kind of rap number about how they run the streets and not the cops.
Oh,
and then they get God. So you go like total whiplash there, and then into the theme song, which is it's done by Randy Newman.
Okay. Does he pretty much narrate what's happening on screen?
You know, pre-Toy Story Randy Newman, correct?
1990 Randy Newman.
Okay, so 1990 Randy Newman.
He's in the studio recording the song while the cast of Cop Rock is all huge smiles, nodding and dancing along to it.
Wait, so that's like the opening credits?
Yeah, this is that's the opening credits. It's straight into that opening credits scene, which is like an intro song on the level of, it's like Peacemaker but done unironically, and it's like but also like Friends as well, where the cast is all happy, or like a Full House kind of thing. And it's like all those things blended into one, and then it goes from there to like this. I'm just gonna give a quick overview of the first episode. From there, it's like they find the mom of the baby. She's a drug addict, and like keeps on trying to sell tips to the cop for where to find this guy who they had to let out. Oh shit, skipped a part. Oh, the guy that they had to let out the next day mows down a cop with an Uzi on a playground. Just straight up mows down a cop. Happy Randy Newman theme song on the piano. Scoop it up, boop, bop, bop.
Randy Newman's a pandemic song.
5 minutes later, a guy takes probably 5,000 bullets from this Uzi, and it's sad. Like his partner is screaming. This show is wild.
This is all the pilot.
This is all the pilot. This is the pilot, and then the show gets picked up for series. It gets canceled like half the season in, but it won Emmys for music. It won Emmys.
I just looked at it. And apparently, it's a 3-disc DVD. So, I mean, granted the release time, I'm sure it was when DVDs only held like 2 or 3 episodes.
I like that you can get it on DVD. There are certain shows you can't find on DVD, but you can find Cop Rock apparently on DVD.
It's only available on DVD or on YouTube. It's not streaming anywhere.
Speaking of cops, I know this is going to completely side rail the conversation, but I got
the show.
I got Miami Vice the complete series at Walmart for $24 on DVD.
That's a good steal. $24 for the full series.
That is one of the best theme songs of all time.
So
Miami Vice theme song.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about cops. Is like 6 episodes of Cop Rock on DVD.
$30.
Wow, what?
So I could get an entire series of Miami Vice, which actually has multiple seasons, or I can get like 7 episodes of Cop Rock.
Okay. I think there's 12. I think it was
in that case, then it's worth it.
Miami Vice used to have a stunt show at Universal.
But the thing
way back in the day.
But the thing about it, I know some DVDs, because I know Beverly Hills 90210 got a lot of shit for its box series because of the music rights that they didn't have.
Right.
And they changed a lot of that. So I'm kind of curious to see if Miami Vice had all the rights to all their songs on there. So that'd be another thing to.
Dawson's Creek is real guilty of that. They actually had to change the theme song.
Yep.
The theme song on the show. So like every time somebody like, I don't want to wait, it's a completely different song in the opening credits.
See, One Tree Hill was my jam.
Yeah, that's what's up. They got to keep theirs.
They got to keep all their stuff. And I know when I bought the OC, I have all 4 seasons of the OC. I believe all of those songs are on there. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I do know now that things like that are on streaming.
Right.
That Dawson's Creek got it back.
So
but on like the DVDs, it is not.
So like we have Paramount Plus has a lot of classic MTV and Nickelodeon on it.
And that's why I bought it. That's why I have it.
So many of the shows, like She hates it, but I love Daria, and like all of the music is gone. So I think that's kind of why she hates it, though, because almost all the songs that are missing are replaced with the Daria theme. So it plays all the time.
The entire 30 minutes. Oh my god, it's infuriating.
I got Paramount Plus for Doug.
Yes,
I'm a huge Doug fan. Obviously Disney Plus. That was the when ABC
version
in the morning, Saturday morning with Doug. That's when Doug's first movie came out. Completely unrelated, but I always like the OG Doug. Like Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts.
Nick Arcade. We just started watching
Adventure of Pete and Pete. I always watched. what the hell? Salute Your Shorts. I loved.
Pete and Pete is like a surrealist art piece. It's wild.
Salute Your Shorts doesn't have all the episodes on there though.
I just saw recently, actually, I saw Jeff Snyder posted on his Twitter that Ugg died. I was like, no, not Ugg. I love Ugg. Really recently. That's within the past 2 weeks or something.
That's crazy.
He couldn't have been super old.
No, because he looked like he was probably in his 20s, late 20s, early 30s in it. So that has to make him in his 50s or 60s. That's crazy.
50s, probably. Yeah, he wasn't that old.
And I'm trying to think. Clarissa Explains It All.
Clarissa Explains It All. Yeah.
Clarissa Explains It All was my jam. That was.
There's a lot. That's Nick. In its heyday, man. I'll tell you what. I think good or bad with anything. You
can just watch it all day.
Rugrats. I always liked Hey Arnold. Everything. I don't know. Everything early Nickelodeon, man. 90s run of Nickelodeon was pretty
Rocket
special.
Power. I dug Rocket Power. That was a good one.
Did you ever see? It's on Hulu. They actually maybe about 5 years ago did just a documentary on the history of Nick.
You know what? I seen it on Hulu because I have been watching. What the hell was I watching on there? I was watching. Handmaid's Tale was on Hulu. And I haven't gotten through that yet. I got through the first season, was really, really interesting. And then I kind of stalled right there in the second season. I felt like it was just kind of
Nope. We lost you.
We lost you, Russell. We lost your mic again.
We're back. I don't know what the hell's going on with my mic today. It's being very temperamental. If I move any which way, it unplugs. But definitely need to check that out though, about the Nickelodeon thing on Hulu.
Going back to the early 90s, in 1990, what do you think the street price of a baby is? Because you find out in Cop Rock.
A full human baby? I could buy one on Cop Rock?
A human baby. How much do you think the street price of
a
human life? A human 1990. Life. Yes.
I'm going to go. Inflation's gone up a lot on babies. I'm going to go on a limb and say, I don't know, $1,000.
Okay,
that seems really
we got
low.
Bethany at 1,000. What do you guys think?
Maybe it's not monetary. Maybe it's drug related. I don't know. Maybe
true.
Maybe
what's a number?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a. I don't even know. I don't know. Let's go. We'll go even more. We'll go $10,000. Let's just.
Mike, what do you got?
I'm gonna lowball this one and say $600.
$200.
Oh, all right.
$200.
So someone tries to buy a baby on the street. Why does someone want to buy a baby? First of all, for $200, and this person is willing.
A couple in a Volvo. It's okay.
So a druggie is willing to get. Listen, druggie, you could get so much more drugs.
She finishes singing a song
for
$1,000. How much she loves her baby, and then she sells it for $200.
I don't think she loves that baby that much.
I got one more Cop Rock thing, and I swear to God, I'm done with Cop Rock.
Wait, are you gonna roll that Beautiful Bean footage? Because you told me you brought clips.
So there's a scene where this detective goes full Vic Mackey, right? He is torturing this guy. He pumps him full of water, and he really needs to go to the bathroom. He's trying to get a name from him. He starts pouring coffee down his throat, scalding hot coffee, trying to get this name, right? And the guy finally cracks. There's one scene where they have a bridge, and then they show this. They show this scene. You're going to recognize Ernie Hudson, as soon as I share my screen, is in this show. He's in the pilot.
Nice.
Winston Zedmore. All right.
So, got to go to the tab.
I'm now going to go around and ask everyone I know if they think that a human baby is worth more than $200.
So this show is always a drama unless they're singing a song or they're in the chief's office. This is a scene in the chief's office.
And the chief's office is where things get wacky. Okay, here we go. Oh, here he is.
Okay,
Is he the chief?
No, he's not the chief.
Oh, okay.
It's important that this go well. Don't you worry about my speeches. We spend too much time and energy kowtowing to politicians and reporters as it is. Come here.
We're going to break this down. I want you guys to talk about this with me.
Okay.
What do you think of these?
Oh.
They're beautiful, Chief.
Bring it out.
Beautiful Colt Navies.
Oh, yeah.
These belong to Bill Hickok, Ozzy.
They belong to Wild Bill.
There were more powerful guns than these. But his hands, none cleared leather like these.
Keep in mind, they're in his office. This is a municipal building.
I best get myself
And
ready.
he's just bringing out his pistol. Oh, okay.
Yep, he's holstered up. Guys.
Why, you lily-livered sodbuster? I ain't afraid of you or nobody else.
Why does he have like an animatronic in his...
Because he's going to use it. Shoot it in the dick.
Oh, you caught me, you sidewinder.
What? Who
Wait, listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to what happens next. They go from this.
I get so tired of burying cops. I watch them come out of the academy with their eyes bright. They strap on a gun and then go off to be heroes. And then one day they're cut down.
What a transition! So we're in his office, and he's like, "Look at my pistols. Here's my animatronic that I keep in my again, defund the police, y'all, and this is why, because they have money for stuff like this. Apparently,
Nobody calls his office after he fires his gun in a municipal building,
and no one is even concerned. And so after he fires the animatronic that he has in his office for no discernible reason, it literally cuts straight to tired of burying my brothers. That's fantastic. Y'all, the 90s were a great time. We're doing life wrong here, I think.
The whiplash that you feel now, that is cop rock.
Yeah, where does one just randomly stumble upon this at, though?
So it is something that I have to give credit to Gamefully Unemployed. They are doing a episode by episode breakdown of Cop Rock.
Okay.
So Tom and Dave. I didn't know what it was.
All right. I just don't know how somebody randomly comes across this stuff.
So I believe an episode of the John Oliver show. I can't think of what it's called right now. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. A year or so ago, there was a bit that he did with Cop Rock, which is the only reason why I know of its existence. And I was like, this show, what the hell? Because he was doing something about drugs or I don't know, whatever. And he was like this show demonstrated and like whatever. So that's the first and only time I've ever heard of it until AJ told me a week ago that he was watching Cop Rock. And I'm like, I've heard of that bizarre show. My interest has peaked.
Well, and what they talked about in John Oliver, this is not the last time they addressed selling babies. There's a whole last song. I want to say it's episode 4 or 5. I haven't seen it yet.
Called Baby Merchant.
Called Baby Merchant.
Baby Merchant.
Right.
I really think, 1990 is a different time. That's all I got.
So speaking of things Bethany had never seen, anybody who follows our social medias knows we've unearthed quite a clip over the weekend. Bethany had never seen the show Nick Arcade before, so I'm like, "Oh, you got to watch Nick Arcade."
Have either of you seen Nick Arcade before?
Yes,
I've heard of it. I'm guessing this is probably a little bit out of my age zone, maybe.
Yes, same. And
Okay.
so he acted like I was a wackadoo, and then I started. He's like, "You've never seen like it was up there with like Legends of the Hidden Temple or Guts."
It was
or,
only like 2 years before either of them.
But I just don't think it has like the staying power, the iconicness of those shows is what I'm saying. But you acted like it did. And then I started polling people and I was like, who has seen this? And like 2 other people had seen it. So he acted like I was the crazy one.
I mean, I've definitely heard of it. Never. I don't think I've ever watched it.
So we put it on. Well, first off, it filmed originally in 1991 when we looked it up.
Yeah, aired
All right, so
I think in 92.
All right, so that's one. Okay.
So It had the games it featured on there. They had some Nintendo ones, but it was a lot of Neo Geo games. If anybody remembers that system, that was primarily an arcade system that was like crazy expensive to buy the US console. It was big in Japan, but in the US, if you tried to buy one of those, it was crazy expensive. And
do you remember how big the cartridges were?
They were enormous. They were
like-
enormous for Neo Geo. Yeah.
2 side-by-side cassette tapes big.
Oh wow, that's massive.
Nick Arcade. You know what? I might have seen this. Like I said, again, if this is the case, this would have been like I'm like 8 or 9.
Right.
Into this.
Right.
So I don't. Okay, so they're playing like literally like arcade games.
But it's not just that. Like they create their own character who's like it's basically like a board game where they have to move pieces around, but it shows really cheesy videos as it goes along with it.
Okay.
They have to do some trivia.
So this is where we come into it. It's I think the second episode we watch.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Can I preface it with the game show host is doing his damn best, and all these kids
He's a great host, by the way.
act like they do not want to be there. You know, like every other show, like every other game show on Nickelodeon, like people are like, I waited my whole life to be on Guts. Like Nick Arcade, all these kids looked like they were dragged into this, and he has to do like little interview portions with them and comedy gold. Like for the interview portions alone, it is
great.
worth watching because he's like, heard you play football, and the kid's like,
Yeah,
not
recess.
really.
At recess.
like these kids like are so over their life, and this guy's like, "Hey kids, what do you do? Like you a cheerleader?" She's like, "Last year I was." It's like okay, and then it just ends, and he's like, "Well, all right," and he like goes on to the next kid, and it's great. Now get to the clip that we unearthed.
I mean, I can grab it from Twitter if we want to show it, but
If you want to.
yeah.
By the way, the host is father of former or current Schmodown personality David Moore.
Yes.
If you like watch SCN, anything like that. So people in like that community like fairly somewhat familiar with this guy's son, which was such a wild thing. Like I was watching SCN one time, and I think he dropped that his dad was, I want to say, the first African American host of a cable game show.
That sounds about right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like groundbreaking kind of thing. So,
All right, so I'm going to share this clip with everybody right now. So if you've seen our Twitter, you've seen this, but this is pretty wild that we're literally watching a clip from 1992, and this comes up. So hold on.
I also would like it to be known we're making shirts of this.
Oh, yeah.
We agreed. When we ever actually make shirts, it's gonna happen.
Okay, so all right,
Can you
I'm
make
gonna.
a big screen.
Yep.
Go back to.
Okay, and all right, so everybody, if you have not seen this, prepare yourselves for a treat.
oh, volume's a little low.
What?
Neither of them were that close, but thanks for trying to be nice to them. Space Track is not remotely close.
Wow.
But it is going to be the name of one of our first official T-shirts.
Yeah.
Space Track.
Space Track.
Oh, what the show
Crazy.
T-shirt.
Crazy.
I love it. It's 10 out of 10. So that really just frosted our flakes. Because of course, as he starts asking, you're like, what an obvious. You're like, it's a kid's show, So you're like, oh my God, how obvious. And then none of the kids get it.
Well,
and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
If you we shared it on Twitter, and it actually blew up a little bit. John Hoey, friend of the show, he brought up a good point. He's like, it really shows how little Star Wars had to do with anything in the early 90s. It wasn't until Lucas started bringing up the re-releases and the potential of the
99 and the
yeah. So like the early 90s, Star Wars was not anything,
So true.
in the lexicon at that point, but at that particular point in time, some of those kids might not have even seen it. And remember that VHSs back at the time, unless you caught it on TV, those were not cheap back in the day. So
I, in fairness, did not watch Star Wars for the first time until 1999. But I feel like there's also certain things, like I was saying, like I feel like Star Wars and the other lovely space odyssey that those children were trying to reference, which was Space Track, aka Star Trek. Like there's just certain things like I swear to God, you're like born knowing. Like everyone kind of knows Yoda talk. Everyone knows a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Everyone knows, like, even though it's misquoted, the whole like Luke, I am your father bit. Like they like live long and prosper. Like you just know that. You don't know even why you know that, but you just know it. And so I was like, I know that they probably maybe not even seen Star Wars, but like they weren't aware enough to at least know, I don't know, just like the things that everybody knows. Like
it seems so commonplace now, though, because you got to remember, though, Star Wars more than re-blew up. You know, once the re-releases happened and the prequels, obviously, it just arguably got bigger than it ever was. So
see, thanks prequels. We can all thank the prequels for one thing.
Well,
and one day we'll all thank the sequel series for something else.
I very vividly remember that the first Star Wars, like I was not in a Star Wars family growing up. The first Star Wars movie I ever saw was I watched Return of the Jedi on TNT,
which is still my favorite of the original trilogy, by the way.
I will never knock anybody for saying any of the three is their favorite.
ROT for life, man.
Yeah, any of the three, those three. If you say one of the other movies as your favorite, I'll have some questions, but I'll take any of the three.
No shade. You like whichever Star Wars movie you like.
Well, I know Empire Strikes Back's super popular, but I've just always been the Return of the Jedi. I think it's just probably the Ewoks do it for me, but I don't know. It's just everything wrapping up. The Luke Vader showdown. Luke, finding out that Leia's his sister, like just like all of it, all that stuff, all clamored together. I think is just makes for a perfect movie.
I feel like all three of them,
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're all in A's in my book. All three of those are A's. There's one of them got 100, one of them got a 98, one of them got a 97, basically.
Well, and one of the things when you start with Return of the Jedi, and you don't see Luke Skywalker in his Chanel boots and green lightsaber for the other two movies when you see them later.
Yeah.
It's really weird that he doesn't have the Chanel boots and the green lightsaber.
You're like, man, he really had a glow up.
It's like that dude really looked like, that guy was like pimping back then, man. Yeah.
He was a pretty fashionable guy. But he has some other Lukes that he is really, really rocking in the first two movies.
Did you just... that pun was forced, but I'll take it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey.
Did we just have that loaded up?
This is what the show, of course we do. Can I tell everyone actually a funny story about this little Ewok plush that I have here? So I just got him back essentially this week.
Sort of. Back
in air quotes. So fun story. So I have a ridiculous amount of Star Wars plushies because, as you can probably tell with the porgs behind us that you see every episode, I'm obsessed with all cute things from Star Wars because I'm doing life right. So anywho, so I have like a bunch of porgs. I have Ewok plushies, a gazillion Grogu plushies. It's a problem. It's not. It's great. So for our wedding, my flower girls were dressed as Rey, Princess Leia, and BB-8. And so I wanted to have Princess Leia walk down with an Ewok because they weren't actually going to throw any flowers because at our wedding venue, you couldn't because we were in a rose garden. So you weren't allowed to because they didn't want anything accidentally blowing in and like growing where they, cross-pollinating, all that stuff. So they weren't allowed to throw anything basically where we're getting married. So I was like, that's fine. I'll have them walk down with a little Ewok. And then Rey was going to walk down with a little porg. So I gave them to my nieces. They practiced in rehearsal with it. They did it on the day of. Of course, us being the bride and groom, we're all over the place all day. I'm not like, hey, where are those plushies that I gave my nieces, whatever. Like, I just assumed they'd get back to me. We finish our wedding. We get a bunch of different stuff, that was in the dressing room back to me. The Ewok and the porg are just gone. They're gone. And I'm really sad about it, even though I'm a grown woman. But I was like, oh, no, my plushies are gone. My babies have left me. And I was like, well, I can rest in peace, knowing that hopefully they ended up in the lost and found. And then when they weren't claimed, they were donated to some little boy or girl who's out there and they're having a happy home, right? So my mom feels like super guilty about this, that I lost them. And they don't sell these particular ones anymore, where I got them both from the Disney parks and they don't sell the particular ones that I lost. So my sweet, sweet mother literally went onto eBay to track down this Ewok plushie for me. And my birthday was on Monday. She came to visit and she gave me this Ewok plushie, which was like the one that I had. And he was with a little note that was like, I missed you. And it kind of made me want to cry. And it was beautiful. So he's not exactly, no offense, buddy, but you're not exactly the one I lost, but he's my new replacement Ewok. So we couldn't find the Porg online, but I do have a good zillion of those, so it's fine. But I thought it was very sweet that she felt so guilty, and she's been like trying for like a year now to return the Ewok and the Porg home to me. So he's home. It's like Homeward Bound right there.
Only they replaced the one of the animals like halfway through the movie
with an Ewok.
Wait, I wonder if that actually happened. Am I making that up, or did I just remember that?
Didn't they do that on South Park where they replaced like all the cops and or all the Nazis in Indiana Jones with Ewoks? I think that's the joke South Park did.
I maybe there was something like that. I do know that they replaced all the guns with walkie-talkies. That's
real. That happened in E.T.
Yeah, E.T. They really did do that. If you get anything from the 25th anniversary on, I believe, is when they did that.
Huh. Oh, well, they did that for an Indiana Jones spoof too. So they're like,
the Indiana Jones spoof was 100% on South Park, and I think that's where the Ewoks came in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd have to watch the episode again. Somebody in the chat correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right.
It's a true story.
What you talking about, Wicket?
So Juice isn't here tonight, but he brought up a movie he found on Netflix. I don't know if you watched it, AJ, and we haven't brought it up to you at all, Russell. So I don't know if you've seen this movie that just came out called Metal Lords. So it's a coming of age movie on Netflix. It's with Jaden Martell, who was in It. And it has Joe Manganiello and the other guy from Stranger Things, whose name is escaping me. One of the doctors.
It's not the doctor. It's the journalist. The conspiracy theorist.
The conspiracy theorist. That's right.
What is that actor's name? I don't know. It's
anyway
me as well.
Anyway, it's
also weird to note that the people who made this movie are also the showrunners.
The showrunners from Game of Thrones made it.
So a weird little high school coming of age story made by the Dragon people. Just want to throw that out there.
I saw a preview for this on Netflix. What I want to say yesterday, because I remember the Kiss makeup.
Yeah. So
yes.
It's so disjointed though. There's two main kids, and the one kid it's pretty much a kind of a classic coming of age story arc, but the other one who's the metalhead, I'm a metalhead growing up who was kind of a little bit of an outcast metalhead, and I wanted to punch this kid.
Which I felt like maybe some of that was the point. At first you're kind of laughing at him because you're like, oh my God, he takes this so seriously, and it's not. It's fun. You're into metal. It's just your pet. Which I get. If you are a teenager and you're passionate about something and you feel like you're an outcast, I want to stick to the board. But this kid, half the time you're laughing at him, which I think is the point. But then, whatever, we're going to spoil this movie a little bit.
There's no redemption to him.
But there's really no redemption to his character. And then you're like, oh, I thought maybe he was going to learn that. And at the end, he does apologize to certain people. Hey, I was a dick, whatever. But he basically has to go, his dad, who's the conspiracy theorist guy from Stranger Things, is dude, I've had enough of you, because he's
he steals his credit card to buy
kid is just whatever. So he goes and he sends him to basically a rehab facility kind of. And so in fairness,
a little extreme, honestly.
Yeah, it seemed a little extreme. Not on drugs, doing alcohol. You know what I mean? He's not drinking alcohol or anything.
Not drinking drugs or doing alcohol.
He's a straight-laced kid. He just likes metal music and is kind of a dick, basically, and is making stupid decisions. So it is a little extreme. But the doctor basically is you're not wrong. And then it's so what? I thought this kid was gonna learn something, and he doesn't learn something. So overall, I will say I thought the movie was very enjoyable, and both of us laughed. And I'm always a sucker for a coming of age story, but this kid was such a prick, and I thought that that was the point, and he was going to learn that.
And he's portrayed as one of the protagonists.
Kind of doesn't learn that, and I'm oh, what was the point of this movie? I I don't get
Okay,
it.
let's dive a little bit deeper. So his dad sends him to rehab, right? What's this
Yeah.
movie rated? Was it like
R.
PG?
It's R.
It
It
is
is
R
rated
rated.
R.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Oh.
There's
I was
like
thinking
nudity in it,
maybe
so
they
yeah,
had
it's
to
R.
try to save the rating, and they had to cut like these scenes, or maybe they did have to cut the scenes so it didn't go
It's a rated R
NC-17.
movie.
Like to
'Cause,
me,
You can't portray a child being addicted to heroin, but maybe there was a thing there.
a fun rock and roll adventure. If you kind of follow in a kind of like with the Kiss thing is Detroit Rock City.
Yep.
I love that movie. I think that's a fantastic
delightfully
film.
dumb movie. Delightfully dumb.
But you know what you're getting. You're not expecting an
Yeah.
Academy Award film.
Right.
And it's a fun. It's like almost like a Dude, Where's My Car type movie. It's so fun and very just
And Eddie Furlong's in it.
yeah, and Eddie Furlong's in it. So you have
It was like Eddie Furlong right before
the
We-
Downs. Before he,
I'm
was
trying
off
to
the
remember
grid.
anything he did after that.
I think he was.
Or Eddie Furlong. I don't know.
he did the direct DVD The Crow movie after that, and I think that's the last.
I
Yeah.
completely forgot he was in that.
The Detroit Rock City, though, man, that was it's a good time.
Oh yeah, that
It's
was,
been forever since I've seen that too. I need to put that on.
What's funny,
sometime.
I literally was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was talking about the worst cover songs in rock, and a song from that album came up on it.
No
and it's-
shit.
Marilyn Manson's cover of Highway to Hell. They're like, was he doing this bad on purpose? Like, and they played it. It's terrible. Like, Marilyn,
Speaking of covers though, with Marilyn Manson, he does a song from Lost Boys. He redid, and it's fantastic. It's really
yeah,
good.
he's usually good at cut.
Yeah.
Like, he actually has
Personal
several
Jesus,
personal
that's a
Tainted
good-
Love,
Yeah.
Sweet Dreams. They're all really good, but
Yeah.
Highway to Hell is god awful.
I don't think I've
Really?
ever
It's crazy.
It's
No.
so bad. Like the guy on the pod, he's like, was Manson literally just doing this to see how people would react? Like,
Speaking
Well,
of cover,
that doesn't-
cover, yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was in a cover mode here.
that just doesn't seem like a song that Marilyn Manson would cover well. So that I
Yeah.
get it, but you had a cover.
Oh no! Yesterday I was listening to another fun 1990s film, Godzilla. I'm a huge fan of the Wallflowers Heroes cover. I think it's actually better than the Bowie version. I know a lot of people probably think it's crazy, but Jacob Dylan I think is perfect. I think his voice that was like the whole. They were riding off of one headlight, and I just think that that cover is fantastic, and it sucks.
It is,
you can't get on Spotify, or you have to buy the whole album on iTunes. They just don't stream it. It sucks, but it's a fun cover. So just wanted to throw a little love that way.
That was
the God-
that was on the Replacement soundtrack too, wasn't it?
yep.
Yeah,
It
I
was
bet
on-
you it's on right now on TBS.
It's on Netflix. They put it on Netflix now.
I don't even have
What-
to wait for TBS
what-
to show me the replacements. I can just watch
the
it whenever.
replacement's on Netflix. No shit, that's cool.
That's another. We were talking about earlier before we were on the air. We were talking about some movies that we considered like comfort food. That's a comfort food movie.
It's funny. The very first time I watched it was the podcast that Chance and I did on it. I had never seen it. It was one. I know, crazy. I know. Like I could tell you all about Varsity Blues and Rudy and the program Friday Night Lights. I could throw all those ones out, but
We know Russell never had TBS.
Yeah, I knew, but I always knew
always on TV.
I knew it was always on TV. I just honestly just never watched. It was one of those things where I probably watched bits and pieces of it, but never actually just sat down and watched the whole entire thing. And I think it was our podcast episode we did. I think it was last year or something. Finally watched it. I enjoyed it. A lot of good football films.
Yeah, I just got an idea for a future stream right before football season starts. And Russell, if you want to come back for this, you let us know.
Yeah,
a fantasy football draft. We've done this for Schmodown. Fantasy football draft.
Just movie characters.
Fictional football characters.
Oh yes, I love
I'd be down
it.
for that.
I would totally be down for that. Absolutely.
And
I think
I
that'd be
just
really
dropped
fun.
the entire team from the TV show Friday Night Lights. Okay,
We could do that. Football and baseball would definitely be realistic to do. We could do either one, but just based on the number of films, those would both be
and I
reasonable.
will draft Sunshine from Remember the Titans. Sunshine, just so I can say that.
So many football movies, man. Like even like Any Given Sunday.
Rudy's one of my
Jesus.
favorites.
Rudy's one of my favorites. I think Friday Night Lights is probably one of my favorites too. I think Friday Night Lights is just, to me, it's a complete movie. That speech that Billy Bob Thornton gives at halftime, I think, is just bar none like one of the best motivational speeches in a film.
Ooh, I see that, and I raise you.
Both Longest Yards.
Any given Sunday.
See, but for me, the movie as a whole, though, I think just kind of, I don't know.
Friday Night Lights is a better movie, but that speech for me.
But to me, though, I think it's because maybe high school football is more innocent, and the fact that it's more innocent as opposed to these guys are pros.
Mm-hmm.
I think it hits more because the innocence of high school football as opposed to NFL and the greed and all that stuff that comes along with it. That's how I look at it. I don't know, but I do. There's a lot of great football films, and that would be really fun to.
That's actually a really good idea. We'll do
Fantasy
that.
football
We'll do that
do
maybe
a
in August.
draft. I think it'd be fun as hell. Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of football, could I ask Russell my coveted straight boy question?
Yeah,
Little Giants, hell yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Little
annexation of Puerto Rico.
Giants. Oh my god!
He's gonna be the first person.
Can I
to
draft
player
people from the Little Giants? Because I will.
Yes.
Icebox, right? Yeah,
Icebox number one.
Icebox.
Icebox
Number
for
one
sure,
overall.
absolutely. And it was
Overall.
funny because Ed O'Neill is actually from around here in Youngstown, Ohio. I live in Pennsylvania, but Youngstown, Ohio is like 15, 20 minutes from where we're at. And he was born and raised in Youngstown. So a little shout out to Al Bundy. Another person you could throw in there. Well, actually, that's TV, though, so you can.
No, we'll count TV too. Whenever we do fictional drafts, we're like, we have to open it up to both.
I mean, Al Bundy's pretty badass too, though.
Yeah, that's
Shane Falco's eligible, of course. I'm saying, like, you can, if you want, you could draft the other time that Keanu Reeves played an Ohio State football quarterback.
Point Break
with Johnny Utah.
Yep.
Johnny Utah, absolutely. Point Break.
He's played an Ohio State football quarterback twice.
I will be drafting Matt Saracen. Is he the best pick? No. Is he the most talented player? But he's got the damn heart, and he will win you state if you give him the damn ball.
Necessary roughness. That would be Sinbad and Kathy Ireland, I believe, was in that film.
Yep.
I
watched that in years.
That has been forever since I've seen that. I just remember Kathy Ireland was huge in that. I just remember Sinbad was in it. Oh man, Little Giants for sure. Rick Moranis. I mean, who doesn't love Rick Moranis?
Oh God, he's so. Rick Moranis is perfect in that movie too.
Yeah,
he's really perfect in Little Giants.
Good stuff. There's so many good football movies. Like we need to do is like compile a huge ass list of the movies that of the football movies and TV shows and stuff like that we can throw in characters from, and then just choose from there. I think it'd be fun.
And like if you want a wild card in anybody who is in a non-sports related show who had a sports background,
You're like that could get so.
McGruber's eligible.
Oh God!
Wouldn't it be that last Boy Scout? Wasn't I believe Damon Wayans was in that with Bruce Willis? Wasn't he a football player? I think so.
Yep. But yeah, I now I'm thinking about like I was this close one time to getting a custom McGruber UTEP jersey, and I think I got to do it now.
It was. Well, actually, no, I didn't see anybody that did. I do see a lot of Bobby Boucher. I would throw in it for sure.
Bobby Boucher, that's a good one.
Clark Kent from Smallville, yes.
So, if you can't pick Superman, what's even the point?
Hello,
I'd draft him.
But he's got to hide his powers.
Forrest Gump could be taken. You could take Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, yes. Roll Tide. He played.
Get
for
yourself
Bama.
an Alabama jersey, absolutely. But no, it's funny with the Clark Kent thing because that's when he was trying to impress Kristen Crew, right? Lana.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So AJ mentioning the McGruber jersey. I think I've brought this up before, but it's always a fun story to tell. My roommate and I, when I lived in Virginia, he was a Nationals fan. I'm a Mets fan. And both of us are big Mystery Science Theater fans. One night we both got like hammered drunk and ordered from MLB.com custom Torgo jerseys from Manos the Hands of Fate. So he has a Nationals one. I have a Mets one. And it says Torgo in 66, which is the year that it's released. And both of us spent like over $100 on that.
Wow.
So I'm putting this out into the ether if anyone happens to live anywhere near Wake Forest and, the school in North Carolina, because the other day I was at work and I happened to work in a place with a lot of TVs playing sports 24/7. And I obviously know that Wake Forest's mascot is the Demon Deacons. But I've never seen their baseball uniforms, I guess. Well, they have like 3 variations. I mean, every team has like 3 variations of uniforms, obviously. But I've never seen this particular uniform until I was at work like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, I want that uniform because, of course, we are the Deacons. And I was like, oh my God, I want that uniform. So I looked up on their official sports shop to see if they sell it. And I could not find it online. I don't know if you were to actually go to Wake Forest, if you could find it. But anyways, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. But it's just like a plain white jersey. And it literally just says Deacons on it.
That's cool.
And I'm like, oh my God, I want it. And I was like, that's literally, we could wear it. And it would just be so cute. So I really want one. And I can't find it anywhere. So if anyone, I don't know, randomly has the hookup with Wake Forest.
I believe one Tim Duncan went to Wake Forest.
He did. That's correct. So did one Mark Ellis.
That's true, Mark Ellis.
Yeah.
So
I'd be like, listen, Mark Ellis, if you're ever visiting your alma mater, could you please see if they sell their baseball uniform? Thanks. It would mean a lot to me. You'd be like,
So
what?
Haskell brings up Cyborg and Zack Snyder's Justice League. I want to raise this though. I want to see you Cyborg pre-accident and raise you Hines Ward.
I was literally about to say that.
Hines Ward from The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Rises.
Yep.
Playing himself.
Filmed literally like
The Gotham
filmed
Knights.
an hour away in Pittsburgh.
Does Dan
Yo,
Marino
Gotham
from
Knights.
Ace Ventura count?
Ooh, it's in a movie.
Another
It is, but it's Ace
Pit Panther.
Yep.
What the
These are all
calls of Pittsburgh.
possibilities.
Yeah, that's crazy.
This will be a fun stream when we do it.
I'm excited.
Well, we'll do it closer to. Well, I mean, we could do it around the NFL draft.
You could
but
do it-
it's more
you
for
do that.
fantasy.
I would say around August. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, do it around fantasy football time. That'll be fun to do
Yeah.
it.
It's like a-
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll see if Chance wants to do that too. He'd probably get a kick out of that.
Oh, he's down because I know we did
Yeah.
this big thing on the NFL draft. Was it last year? I think. That
Yeah, it was me. It was
me, you, and Paul.
PLD. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
Who would
I
have
mean,
thought my
doing that again. I'd do that again.
yeah? Who would have thought my team would have blown in the NFC Championship? Fantastic, love it.
Love that for me.
Oh, sadness.
They did well though. I will say, like, I don't think most people expect them to get that far, and they put up a fight.
No, but to me, it's like one of those things. I'd rather not get there than go so close and lose.
Yep,
You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. I'd rather not go to the playoffs.
Oh, I'm gonna be right back. Just one sec.
I'm just like I'm stubborn like that. I don't want, like, I'd rather just not make it in the playoffs.
Being a Jets fan, I don't have to worry about that.
That's true. It's not.
No, you really don't. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
AJ owns this.
it could be worse. I could be you with
The
that.
casual.
That is a Super Bowl champion Cincinnati Bengals hat
Is it really?
Yeah.
Where
for
the hell
this
did you-
year.
No shit. Where'd you
From
find?
China.
Oh,
I got the homie hookup in Algeria.
Yeah, there you
all
go.
you need to know.
Algeria. You're right. I'm
So
sorry.
Tell everybody how much you spent on that.
$57.
But it literally Super Bowl Sunday, they lose.
Like right after the game,
Because he
right?
said before, he's like, no matter who loses, I'm buying the loser's hat.
Oh,
Like,
I thought you were. Are you? Who's your football team?
It's so NFC is the commies, and then AFC is the Texans.
I feel like the Commanders. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the old
Um,
commies.
Now I never grew up a commies fan, that kind of thing.
Is
But
it the name? Is it the name
It was.
that sold
It
you?
literally was. No, it was
it
Washington
was
football team.
because I wanted
when they
to
became
root
the football
for
team,
the
that's what sold
football
you?
team.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the touchdown football team, stuff like that.
They should have just kept it if they were going to go.
I know.
Commanders. I think they should have
I
kept it.
Worked.
I would have
Yeah.
been. I wish it could have just gone forever as the Washington football.
Chance
team.
and I always whenever we did football, we always call them the woofed. You know,
Yep.
we call them the woofed. You know,
When they were like trying to come up with the names, one of my buddies had a really funny suggestion. He wanted them to be like bought out by Liberty Mutual, and then when they scored, have the crowd do the Liberty, 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 Liberty chant in the crowd.
Free
All right.
advertisement and fun. I'd be into it. I
and
like
you
it.
know they'd be down for it because they see dollar signs on that shit too. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
And
it'll
they
make
can keep
them
it off
money.
the books.
Oh.
better than my baseball team, the Indians, or should I say Guardians?
Yeah.
Awful
With
name.
what-
Have you ever had Burtman's Ballpark mustard?
And was that in Houston?
in Cleveland. It
wait,
originated there.
Okay, Berkman. I thought like Lance Berkman.
It originated.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
that's another weird thing I know way too much about. I got excited when I heard.
No, it's
about
fine. I may have I may have put it on a hot dog or a pretzel at one time. I'll have to be more cognizant of
And
that.
next time
when we go this year.
look-
Yeah, no, for
Look
sure.
for it.
I'll look for it.
I met the CEO once. I had to serve him because I know way too much about that mustard. And my manager was like, "Oh, he's here. I know you know
Really
about
cool.
it."
Okay. Literally
serve
next time we go to Cleveland, I was actually just talking to my wife about that. We need to get up there sometime within the next couple of weeks or so to go up because at this time last year, I think we were already at a game, and I just love baseball. I love the atmosphere. Just one of the best environments to be around. Probably because I played baseball in high school. Just love it. Just such a great sport.
Good old baseball stadiums have a lot of history.
It was funny
I like the old-timiness of it.
Oh, for sure. And I said I never looked forward to overspending for beer and nachos as I did during the pandemic, that whole COVID. Yeah, I mean, even now, but not as bad now, obviously. But just that whole entire swing of just not having social events and stuff like that for almost a year and a half or so. And it was just nice to finally get out there and overpay for a beer and chomp down on some nachos, man. I just you can't put a price tag on that.
We we live in Orlando, so our shutdown wasn't that long. So we were still overpaying for beer and nachos at the theme parks.
Pretty quickly. We did have 75, which honestly, going 75 days in Orlando without overpaying for beer and stuff like that is a long time, I guess. But
but it's just I think ours was long. I'm trying to think when we went up to Cleveland. I think it was during in 2020, but they had it. Where was it not 2020? I think it was 2021 was our first year back.
Mm-hmm.
They had literally. I did like this idea though, but they had where you got seats and then they spaced everything out.
Yep.
So there wasn't a lot. I did like that because sometimes you get those annoying people that sit next to you, in front of you, behind you. It was beautiful.
It was nice to.
We went to Tampa last year, and it was like that too, where they had if you were in one row, the people who were in the row behind you were at the exact opposite end. And
it's beautiful. It was beautiful. The only thing that sucked about it, though, the concession stands weren't ready for the busyness of everything. Because I remember, I think we waited, I want to say 2.5, 3 innings for nachos. It was fucking crazy. Yeah.
Well, I think I haven't been to many. I've been to one major league game in my life, but I'm in Omaha. So College World Series.
Oh yeah.
I go to that park. I am not in my seat the entire time. I am roaming around the ballpark. I'm talking to strangers, that kind of thing. I haven't found my way back still yet to that because call me pandemic shy, that kind of thing. But that's just kind of who I am for the most part, usually. But that's kind of the fun of the ballpark for me. Is I'm probably watching 10 minutes of the game. I'm roaming around talking to people that kind of thing from all over the country.
Yeah, we do that too. We'll do we'll just walk around, see what's going on, grab beer, walk around, socialize, go to the team shop, buy some new gear for the year and stuff like that. New hats, I usually try to do every year. It's like I said, it's glad it's just great to have that atmosphere back.
And it's finally starting to feel closer to what it was. I don't think we're fully there, but it's more like 2019 than 2020.
Oh my Lord. And it's crazy when we talk movies and stuff like that. I feel like the 2020 and 2021, I think it was in 2019, it was all 1 year or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it was just
together for me.
You're sitting there thinking about it. Yeah, you're sitting there thinking about the movie came out in 2020. I feel like it just came out yesterday because you just
the years as a whole, it kind of just feels in a lot of ways it feels like one just continuous breaking them up is difficult, honestly.
Yeah,
it felt so surreal that Sonic 2 came out last weekend.
And I was and it was funny because I took my daughter to see that on Sunday, and I just think it's funny how the very first trailer of Sonic looked so awful.
Right.
And everybody in the Twitter world and social media went wild and crazy about how awful it looked and all that stuff. And they actually took
the criticism, and they redid the computer animations and stuff like that. And it's crazy the product they put out. They put out a solid film, and on top of it, they actually have like a franchise going now. It's crazy. Who would have thought that from that first trailer?
So there was a thing.
Hedgehog movie, period.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
a thing that Mark Bernardin brought up that he couldn't confirm, but it's been a conspiracy theory ever since. I kind of prescribed to. So when that trailer came out, he apparently had talked to somebody at the studio who said, "Yeah, we put out a shitty trailer so people would tell us that to fix it."
I mean,
no, we did that so that when we showed the real product, people were excited, and then they felt compelled to go to the box office. I'm not 100%. I'm saying if we found out it was true, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't
could
be
believe
surprised.
that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I think either way,
it sounds
either way, it
plausible.
was smart. If they heard the backlash and they fixed it, smart. If they purposely put out something crappy, so then you'd make you feel better,
Genius.
also smart. Like either way, I think they won.
Yeah, because bad publicity is still publicity, so it doesn't really matter. You're still getting word of mouth of your movie out there, so it doesn't really. And people are going to want to see it even more because of that, though. So yeah, it makes sense.
Paramount, listen to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I still got about 2 weeks before I see Sonic. What did you think of it? Did you and your daughter have a good time?
Yeah, she really enjoyed it. She did not want to stay. She's very anti like post-credit scenes. Like she wants to get up and go. And it drives me crazy because like she started this shit with Ghostbusters Afterlife when my wife, me and her went. I know, but no big deal. We ended up finding them anyway. And same thing with this one. I found, obviously, it does tease a third movie, and it shows a possible new character. So really cool, and definitely is going to continue the trilogy here. I just think it's really cool because speaking, what we just said, we didn't think we were going to get one good movie, let alone two solid films, and a third one coming up. But yeah, the second one's fun. Don't get me wrong. I like the first one. I do like the addition of Tails though to it. I think that's really cool. Like the camaraderie that Tails' character and obviously Sonic have, and then just Knuckles with Idris Elba is pretty badass. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
I also love that they got the original voice actress for Tails. Like it's the original video game character. Yeah. They don't do that very often. So I thought that was a pretty cool touch.
It's pretty badass. And I think Jim Carrey's perfect as Dr. Robotnik.
Oh yeah, he's saying this might be it. Like, how crazy is that? That like I guess he's been around for a hot minute now, but he's saying this might be it.
Yeah, Chance and I were talking about that. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, here's what's going to. I think it will happen. He's been known for comedy his whole entire career, pretty much. I mean, outside of like Eternal Sunshine and Man on the Moon and stuff like that. Number 23. Yeah. And, and like movies like that. But what I think is going to happen now, he is going to get like to the Bill Murray-esque of his career and start putting out serious movies. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a couple years off, that you start getting these movies and start getting some Oscar bait. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's going to go for a Lost in Translation kind of.
I'm telling you, because look, you had Lost in Translation, you had Broken Flowers, you had like movies that were really any Wes Anderson movie he's in. More serious roles, some with a little splash of comedy, but yeah, Lost in Translation, obviously.
That's a fantastic film.
Oh, it's a great movie. Yeah, I really think that's what he's going to go for. I think maybe like an Eternal Sunshine type, only kicking up with the seriousness a little bit. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and I can see that maybe after like a break.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
it's like he's going to take a break. But it's like when Tarantino says he's going to retire after 10 films. Really? Oh, yeah.
No, I don't buy that.
You're just going to put product out, but it's not going to be as close in proximity like Tarantino does. There's gaps in between his work. I mean, I think that's what's going to happen with. I mean, you really look at it the last, 15 years, what like really good Jim Carrey movie have we had? None. I mean, realistically, like a great, or a decent Jim Carrey film. Like obviously the 90s, he was look at the year he had with Ace Ventura.
94 is he's untouchable.
And The Mask. I mean, that's just you don't have years like that. And then keep it rolling with. I mean, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls was okay. Then you still had The Cable Guy, which I didn't think was his greatest. I thought it really kind of sucked, but it is what it is. Then you had Truman Show. You had. I mean, he was still there. Bruce Almighty still around. So then I think after. I think right after, I mean, because Eternal Sunshine was like 04?
04.
Ish.
04, yep.
Yeah.
04, I think.
what really do you have after that, man? Because I think Man on the Moon was in 2000 or 99 or 2000.
99, I
No
think.
major
Even, yeah.
releases.
But after that, you didn't really see him like coming back to something that's like worthy of, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like more like a critical acclaim or like a praised movie. You know?
Have you seen I Love You, Philip Morris?
I haven't. I know he's in the movie, and I know I heard it's okay.
It was an acclaimed indie at the time.
Okay.
It is wild, and it's one of the craziest based on a true story movies I think I've ever seen. That's just it's insane, and he does give a ridiculous performance. I think it's one of the best of 2009.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's something maybe to check out.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I guess, like he just like kind of died off.
No high profile, big star performances.
Same thing with Will Smith. I think right after, I mean, and I know, obviously with King Richard and stuff like that, I think obviously garnered him a Oscar, but like really outside of that though, he had been struggling for a solo movie for a while. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I think you have I Am Legend, I think 2007, and then he drops off. Yeah, you have Bad Boys 3, but it's Bad Boys. You know you're gonna get the people that have seen the first two Babe products. I mean, it's not, and I think that's like Will Smith's career, same thing. Like another person who owned the '90s. Him and Carrie, for shit's sake, were both the biggest stars of the '90s.
Two of them and Sandler. Between those three, if you put their name on a movie, it was going to sell.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're not a big Gemini Man fan then? You're not big on Gemini.
I mean, I love Ang Lee. Don't get me wrong. Brokeback Mountain is one of my top films. I love that movie. I think that absolutely got completely shut down for an Oscar when it should have won against Crash. The acting in that movie far superior, cinematography far superior. The directing, obviously, he won Best Director for it. So you're telling me this guy directed. He's the best director. Okay, yet his film's not good enough to win Best Picture. That makes no sense to me. Like, why are you?
I will say for the same reason that I would give Jane Campion of the nominees this year Best Director, but I wouldn't call Power of the Dog Best Picture. Power of the Dog was not the best picture to me, and I thought honestly, I mean, Campion did a decent enough job, but to me, Campion. We need to put a hard N. Campion, Jane Campion. Like to me, it's just like it's hard to get involved in that film. I remember I tried to start it 2 or 3 different times and was just bored and shut it off.
I still watched it.
To me, I did watch it. I ended up watching it. Yeah. Cody Smith-McPhee, I think, gives the best performance out of the movie in it. And then I'll throw Benedict Cumberbatch in second. I'll go Kirsten Dunst 3, Plemons 4. But to me, I think the movie's overhyped. I think this mysterious secret or whatever. You kind of are already going to where they're going, so it's not really a big mystery secret when you get to it. And that's what they kind of tease that whole back, I'd say quarter of a movie, back half of the movie. Moonfall,
yes.
Of course. How could you?
Moonfall, obviously the greatest movie.
I would rather watch Moonfall any day of the week.
Without ever seeing Ambulance, I would rather see Ambulance than Power of the Dog. I think.
I think you could watch 2 ambulances to 1 Power of the Dog. Don't quote me, but that movie is.
It drags, and to me, it's like I think Coda was. I mean, and I hadn't seen it until obviously we reviewed it last episode. But
we saw it about a week ago too.
I think it's a fantastic film. I think it deserved.
Troy was great.
It's a feel good film. Troy is fantastic in it.
He's fantastic.
Absolutely Oscar, deserving. I just think the movie makes you feel good. To me, it kind of reminded me almost like an ensemble, like a Little Miss Sunshine. You have everybody, all the players have their different tropes and characteristics that really make it a family movie. It kind of reminded me of that.
Each character, like even if they weren't on screen super long, was developed enough that you felt for them in one way or the other. Like there was nobody enough there. Yeah, there was depth to the movie, even if they weren't like they made the most out of a little, which that says a lot.
No, and I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't get into Power of the Dog. I think it was just, I don't know. It was just one of those movies where I watched. I was like, okay, it's okay,
I will say that for anybody who's nominated for Best Director this year versus what I just saw with Everything Everywhere All at Once, wipes the floor with any of them.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's also the best edited film I've seen maybe ever.
I mean, I was rooting for Branagh in Belfast just because I like Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Gilderoy Lockhart is like one of my favorite characters in Harry Potter. Only he's in one movie, but love him nonetheless, dude. I think he's a fucking rock star when he's in the movie. I love him as a director. I just think that, Belfast to me was a really, really good film. I thought it deserved a lot more than it got. I am glad that he got. He did get a screenplay. He won. Was a screenplay.
Yeah. Got original screenplay.
I was happy about that. Definitely well deserved. I don't know. There was just a lot more movies. Like I was really excited about Nightmare Alley. I really love that film. I'm just glad it got nominated. I think it was a really, a really great film, and I know a lot of people just like really hated it. And another one that I thought should have been nominated was The Last Duel. I mean, can we talk about that for a second? Anybody ever see The Last Duel?
No.
Last Duel it's wild.
Like everyone else in America, apparently.
It's funny.
Are you a fan of? Oh, I was just asking the Deacons here if they were fans of Rashomon storytelling, because that's one of the best Rashomon movies I've ever seen.
I really enjoyed the three different points of view that the movie breaks the movie into.
I love Jodie Comer. Does that count?
I think you get great performances from Affleck. You get great performances. I mean, just all across the board. I think Damon's great.
Damon are wild.
Damon's great, and I mean, obviously, Kylo Ren himself, Adam Driver is fantastic at it too. I mean, it's just a really good movie. I highly recommend it. I wish the movie would have gotten a little bit more praise than it got, or lack thereof. I don't think it. Like a lot of people shit talk on it and hated it, being like, "Oh, well, nobody went and saw it." That's the problem. Like this movie seriously could have easily been a Best Picture nomination for sure.
But with that, I'm now 9-10 months removed from it. My favorite movie came out last year. Wasn't nominated.
What was that?
Yeah, mine too.
Now 9 or 10 movies. It's my favorite movie of all time.
It's not my favorite of all time, but of last year.
What was it?
Pig.
No shit. Okay, yeah, Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Okay.
It's so good.
Okay,
I saw. Yeah,
it's so good. Now, speaking of which, everybody, if you're watching this, it comes out. We got to see it 2 weeks ago. Just go see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I can't wait it looks fantastic.
So much fun.
Good.
You talk about a crowd-pleasing movie. This is like the ultimate crowd-pleasing movie.
Oh, what? Pedro Pascal and fucking Nick Cage.
Pedro Pascal is a delight in this movie. An absolute delight.
Really? We're going to shit talk The Last Duel. Oh, man, that's sad. that's sad face here, man. I don't know. I
would say
genuine
Lego
question as someone who has not seen The Last Duel. Is it like, I just don't like what's the word to like that? Like, I always say Gladiator because like Gladiator is what brought
it's
that kind of style.
Than Gladiator, though.
Like, is it like that, or is it like
the way Ridley tells the story differently though? But there's things that happen in the film where you get different points of view from how it happened, which I think is, it's a really great way of telling a story, especially at his age too. Can we give him a shot? Like mid 80s, almost 90s, making films and making really, pretty good films. I think
one good film, and then also The House of Gucci.
You know what? Chance calls me crazy too for actually going to bat for House of Gucci. I thought you had some good performances in that movie too.
There are certain parts of House of Gucci I really like.
Jeremy Irons in it. I thought Jeremy Irons was fantastic.
It's there's parts of it I like, the entire some of it not so great.
It is, but it's what I tell my wife. It's a slow burn. I mean, you have to know that it's a longer movie. I like Jared Leto's character in it as that Mario Luigi character. I really liked him. Don't get me. I know. Chance,
I'm going to disagree on that.
Chance hated.
Do you know the Tom Ford quote?
What's that?
So, Tom Ford saw the movie, and then he has commentary on Jared Leto's performance. I'm going to try and do my Tom Ford voice. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not.
I like something you do often.
I had sat down with Paulo Gucci many times, and he was certainly an eccentric man, but not mentally ill in the way that Leto chose to perform.
Hey, listen, nothing against Tom Ford. I love the two movies he's put out. He needs to put some more movies out.
Yes. I'm a huge proponent of give him Aaron Taylor Johnson and make him a James Bond movie.
Okay. I like The
Yes.
Single Man, and I love Nocturnal Animals. I think it was a fantastic film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I and Lady Gaga's fantastic in anything she does.
She was great in it.
I did
She
like her
was
in
great
it.
in it. I'll give you that.
But
And Adam Driver's fine.
Yeah, Adam Driver was.
He was fine.
pretty decent.
I get with the gripe though. A lot of gripe with Leto's character and just the sheer fact that the movie does drag.
The pacing. That's what I was going to say. The pacing.
I get it, but definitely check out The Last Duel. I promise. Even minus the comments. I know. I'm sorry, but you guys will definitely like it. I promise.
I think if The Last Duel came out first and then House of Gucci, it would have been much more favorable for both movies.
It came out too early, and then was just buried by everything else that came out after it. That's exactly what happened. And on top of it, you're still not getting the whole entire audience still driving themselves to the theater to go yet. You're battling with that too.
But have you seen there's a recut of
It's
the Nicole Kidman AMC ads, right?
Yeah,
they're the best.
There's a recut of when right before she says heartbreak feels good in a place like this. There's a recut where the film, instead of La La Land, it's the scene of Lady Gaga getting railed in House of Gucci.
That's good. That's perfect.
It's
all right. I think that's the perfect cutoff point.
What a better way to end than talking about.
There you have it.
Which is Nicole Kidman doing the AMC ad.
But Russ, thanks so much for coming on tonight. It was an absolute blast talking to you. So tell everybody where
he'll be
we can
back
find you. Yeah,
for
you'll be back.
Fantasy
definitely.
football.
Maybe
we planned it here tonight.
Yeah,
I appreciate. Notorious by Chance is the Facebook group. Go ahead and if you haven't, go ahead and add that group on Facebook. That's where we put up polls for you guys to vote on what movies we talk about. Since baseball is back in swing, no pun intended, we are going to be reviewing Moneyball. Look forward to
real quick.
What's that?
Are you sure that was intended?
Maybe it was. Okay. Was it intended to come up with this August NFL this movie?
That's what the show for you.
I mean, come on, we made plans without actually wanting to make plans. It's fantastic. But yeah, Notorious by Chance on Facebook. Anywhere you guys get podcasts, go ahead and check that out. Also,
I put the Apple link in the description, by the way.
And also Notorious by Chance on Facebook, or not on Facebook, YouTube. We got to start putting new content up, so we're going to start doing that because we have fun talking about new movies. And there's so many movies that are coming out that we need to talk about and kind of break down and talk in depth about. I kind of want to do that, but those are the two links you guys can find us.
Awesome. Nice. And obviously, you know about us with our main show, and we'll plug. We are doing one additional stream next week. The second Scrubs trivia will be on Monday night. That is fantastic.
A random bobblehead.
Random time for us is going to be 5:30 East. As our defending champion, Matty Gunner, is based in England, so we like to try to accommodate him. Oh.
I'm done. Sorry.
Mesmerizing. Mesmerizing. Monday, 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. It's Matty Gunner defending his Scrubs Trivia Championship against Dan Nye, who has not been on the show before, and somebody we all know very, very well, Mr. Billy Belford. So that's going to be an entertaining show. If I'm not mistaken, a certain jabroni might be hosting with me.
Brother Lomas, you've come to bless us this evening. Everyone, rest in peace to Wallace Shawn.
Yes.